Hello and welcome to round 12 of Grand Prix Albuquerque. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm here with Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we're about to watch Matthew Sperling and Joe Demestrio, both players sitting at 10-1. And Matthew Sperling
done
is
us a
kicking
favor.
things off with a thought seize.
He's let us see exactly what Joe's up to. Shock, Magma Jet, Anger of the Gods. He wants to burn everything. War Leader's Helix, Chandra's Phoenix, and a couple of lands.
Chandra's Helix. That sounds like an awesome card, too. Coming soon to a core set near you.
Exactly.
Matt Sperling, of course, is playing the mono black deck that has really dominated the top tables this weekend.
Yeah, it's been the deck of the weekend so far. I mean, narrative obviously TBD based on the top 8, but it got three of the four undefeateds yesterday were playing the same basic mono black strategy.
And one of the big innovations here is the 4 pack rats.
Yeah. Well, Sperling takes the War Leader's Helix there.
Yeah. So not going on a pack rat plan, not expecting to, because with Shock and Magma Jet, he's
right.
gonna have a hard time getting that to live.
I think he started adding up. Okay, 2 plus 3 plus 4. Maybe I should take the one that does 4. Yeah, I mean Joe's deck seems like it's a burn deck. I mean the only creature in the deck is Chandra's Phoenix. No, Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah.
So I mean it's got like half a dozen creatures. I think 7, and then a bunch of removal spells and a bunch of player removal spells.
Yeah, it's kind of a control deck, kind of a burn deck.
Right. Not sure if Mike Flores were here, he would call it the philosophy of fire.
Sure. I mean, but you know, it's kind of weird, right? Like, not every card is dedicated to that job of.
Yeah, it's not
burning.
trying to burn for 20 as fast as possible. So here's Underworld Connections. This is interesting. Like, I don't know how this plays out. It seems like Underworld Connections should be awesome. It's certainly a lot of what Sperling's deck revolves around, but Joe can punish him for paying life. Right, all that burn means Sperling's kind of doing Joe's work for him by drawing those cards. I would think the card draw is going to work out since it can fuel Gray Merchant.
Right. He also does a little work for him with Thought Seize, right? Like,
absolutely true. Yeah, Matt's at 16 already.
Right, because he had to shock himself with his land to be able to play the Underworld Connections this turn.
No, that's a temple. I think it's just... I think maybe Magma Jet got fired off? Anyway. So, I mean, Joe is certainly set up to kill a lot of creatures. Chain of the Rocks probably has to wait for Desecration Demon. Matt's going to play out a Pack Rat. He's just baiting.
Right. It's a vitamin.
Does not expect it to... Yeah. Does not expect it to live. I mean, he could have tried to slow roll it until he has 5, and then he can play it and activate, but I think he just wants to start working his way through those burn spells and continuing to draw cards off the Underworld Connections. And Joe has to kill Pack Rat. Right? Pack Rat will...
But he doesn't. Does he want to fire burn it, or does he want to chain it to the rocks?
I would burn it. I would burn it because Desecration Demon's a problem.
Fair.
I mean, Matt plays a 6/6. I think Chain is basically the only card in Joe's deck that deals with a 6/6.
All right, we see a shock.
He's going to land off stage, right? I'm not even sure what Matt's thinking about.
He can activate his two Mutavaults.
Oh, hilarious. He can make it a 3/3.
And make it a 3/3.
Nice.
He can go rat. He does,
nice.
And that's exactly what he does.
Very nice. I like that play. People miss the Mutavaults all the time versus Pack Rat. Okay, here comes Chandra's Phoenix. In for 2.
And then suddenly we have a race? Well, I guess there's still Anger of the Gods.
Oh, right, yeah. He can Anger to sweep away a couple of Pack Rats.
As you may have noticed, we have a couple Planeswalkers in the house. We have a fun opportunity.
Although, I guess...
I mean, that shock wasn't completely wasted from Joe either. He basically denied Matt a card.
Right.
Right. He had to tap the Underworld Connections land.
Directly to you, with them, back next to Liliana. And the price is very reasonable. As in
All right.
free.
Heroes Downfall, Chandra's Phoenix.
No, he was making a rat.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm like, that did not sound right.
Making a rat, and now he can make his rats both 4/4s.
To survive.
To survive an Anger of the Gods.
Nice. Yeah, we thought that Pack Rat was a vitamin, but Matt thinks he can outrace all that burn. This is really cleverly played.
Demestrio could have just chained to the rocks that rat, and Matt wouldn't have had a chance to make a second rat.
It's true.
He only had 2 mana that one turn.
Absolutely true.
So here comes another
Yeah,
Chandra.
so now Joe's got a race.
Matt goes to 10.
He can't win this race, can he?
I don't think he can.
He's got a Boros Charm and a Magma Jet. Maybe
know.
he can. Matt's at 10. Matt needs a Gray Merchant is what Matt needs.
Matt draws a card. He has a Gray Merchant in hand.
Of course, if he taps 5 for Gray Merchant, then his pack rats can get swept by Anger. But then again, that kills the Phoenixes. Interesting. Those pack rats hit pretty hard, but I mean, Matt has seen some of the burn in Joe's hand, right?
Right.
He knows about the Magma Jet.
He knows there's a
for
Magma
sure.
Jet, and he knows there's a chain to the rocks.
Does not know about the Boros Charm, I think.
Well, he can make 2 rats this turn.
He can also activate a Mutavault and make 1 rat. He can activate 2 Mutavaults. He can activate 2 Mutavaults as an attack for 12. But he's going to take 4, so he's at 5 next turn. The Gray Merchant's got to be tempting. But Gray Merchant means his rats can be killed.
He would gain 6 off the Gray Merchant.
Wow. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what Matt's supposed to do, having seen Joe's hand. Having trouble blocking that information from my brain. Yeah, he goes for Gray Merchant. It seems like the right play.
Yeah, Sperling climbs to 15 here. Because the...
Okay, and then he activates a Mutavault, so the pack rats are 3/3s. No reason to hold that back since 3 doesn't save them from much. Yeah, the fact that Anger of the Gods sweeps the 2 flyers away makes this line a little more attractive.
And Demestrio is constrained by his mana here.
Also true.
Right? You know, he can't, it's difficult for him to play 2 spells in 1 turn.
Right.
The way his mana is developed, or has not developed. Nice rat token. Looks like it might have been drawn by one of the artists here this weekend.
Oh yeah, probably.
So it looks like we're going to get Magma Jet on a rat. Oh, and then he can chain the other rat
Wow.
to the rocks.
So he can. The Mutavault activation may not have worked out after all. Yeah, chains the other one. No rats for you. And of course that was a token copy of the rat, so it actually disappears completely. Not that that's relevant.
But he can't really attack here because he'll just die to 2 Mutavaults and a Gray Merchant attacking him. He's slightly in. He's kind of in chump block mode here. Or actually, no, he can.
I mean, he trades
he
for
can
the Mutavaults.
he can actively trade for the Mutavaults. Yeah.
Attack with 1. Leave the other back. Lets Matt get through for 4 if he wants to, though.
Right, and then he has to worry about any spot removal.
Right.
That Matt draws.
Right. So Joe leaves both Phoenixes on defense. Matt's got a Nightveil Spectre. I think he's got a replacement pack rat. Still has an Underworld Connections. Yeah, he's going to draw a card. Second Nightveil Spectre. So you play a Nightveil Spectre here.
Yeah, and that keeps the Chandra's Phoenixes back.
Right. He could also play pack rat with activation mana. Seems like
that's what he's thinking about here.
Yeah, it seems like against the burn deck that pack rat's better than
it looks like he's
Spectre.
look at that, yeah.
Well, he's going to attack. So he's gone. Clearly, his plan is Nightveil Spectre after this combat, but meanwhile, it's going to put Demestrio to the test. You block you block Mutavault with Phoenix, right? That one seems
right. A straight trade, yeah.
That's a good trade for you. You can get back your Phoenix later, in theory. Now, do you chump Gray Merchant or do you go to 4?
I think you have to go to 4.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, he's going to double block just to make sure nothing crazy happens.
Right.
And
here,
here's
yep.
Night Veil Spectre.
Yeah, Night Veil Spectre. 2/3 flyer. You know, stats that were good enough for keep Vampire Nighthawk in standard for as long as it was around.
Still no land for Demestrio.
Yeah, he's got a book of matches in his hand. He just
does.
He just doesn't have anything to strike him on.
Just
Yeah, that Anger of the Gods has just been kind of blank for him.
Right. I mean, he chose to try racing with the Phoenixes. That basically turns it off when you go down that route.
Yeah, I think I would not have shocked that rat.
His
I would
race
have
almost works. That like, if there's no Gray Merchant, he wins that race.
Sure.
Like, he's got that book of matches. Like, if he'd been burning Matt instead of killing Pack Rat and chaining Pack Rat,
right?
You know, he could have.
But he had that chance to chain Pack Rat with only 2 mana untapped.
Yeah, he thought the shock was going to work.
But on the board, it wasn't.
It did not work out, yes. On-board tricks. All right, here comes Sperling in. He needed the Gray Merchant to get out of burn range, but that one Gray Merchant seemed like all it took. He had Pack Rat working for a while.
So Lightning Strike shoots down the Night Veil Spectre. Here comes Gray Merchant. Are we blocking it? Or are we going to 2? What are we doing here?
2.
Yep.
Gray Merchant's lethal either way, so.
There's a Pack Rat and another Night Veil Spectre. War Leader's Helix taunts Demestrio off the top of his deck.
No 4th mana. Wow, okay. Is that how this matchup normally plays?
I don't.
This is not a matchup
I've actually not really seen. I haven't seen Demestrio's deck really in action.
No, neither have I.
Before.
No, it's definitely kind of a new twist, unexpected. How many of these are running around? We've got the metagame breakdown around here somewhere
Yeah,
still?
yeah, we do. So this
How
I
did
would
this
assume
even
is
get
the Boros
categorized?
burn deck.
Is that how it got categorized?
Yeah, and so there's 6
of these?
Yeah, and this is a deck that is this the deck you were saying Shaheen Sarani was writing about, or
No, it was more like Ephro's control deck.
There we can get a look at the day 2 breakdown for all of you.
Perfect. 6 of these, huh? How many White Weenie decks? 8?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the White Weenie decks will often be Boros. They're touching red for
Right.
just the Boros charm or maybe a little more.
But I gotta tell you, coming into today, those White Weenie decks were all clustered near the top tables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about Ben Lundquist, who's done very well with that deck. Yes,
Pack Hawks.
Absolutely. 6 Boros burn decks. I haven't seen this one before. Sort of quietly sneaking into a relevant chunk of the metagame.
So I'll be right back. I need to go look up Toil and Trouble and figure out exactly what that card does. I don't know if it's a relevant sideboard card or not.
It is 4 copies in Demestrio's sideboard, that's for sure. The other thing, he's also got the card that we said was so good for Ephro. He's got 2 Assemble the Legions.
It's a fuse card. I know
we knew
that.
It had fuse.
Toil is target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life.
Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
That's Toil.
And then it's a
It's just like sudden impact.
yeah, it's a
Sudden
sudden
impact.
yeah, it's a Stormseeker. That's right.
Yeah, it's Stormseeker to me too.
Yeah.
We're showing our age with that reference, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know you know Stormseeker. You play green decks. So probably not the card he's bringing in here.
I mean, it's more burn.
Skullcrack's kind of sweet, actually. You know, it just like if you depending on how little you care about your own life being drained by the Gray Merchants.
Right.
Skullcrack. I mean, Gray Merchant really just bought Sperling the necessary turn.
No, I think
like the life drain was obviously relevant, but was
who
not
else
the
is
big deal.
Skullcrack for? He's gone to all the trouble of putting 4 Skullcracks in his sideboard. Right. Who else's life gain is he turning off?
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
It must be for Gray Merchant.
Yeah.
Maybe he just turns himself into a burn deck. Does he take does Anger of the Gods come out?
Does Stormbreath Dragon come out?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
you don't
is
have a
not
lot
a
of
good
time.
matchup
You don't
for
have a
Stormbreath.
lot of time for that.
And they have 37 ways to kill it. I mean, if he goes, I wonder how well Sperling knows this matchup too. It's one of these where does Sperling know how few creatures there are in Demestrio's deck? Does he how much removal does he take out?
Yeah, and then
I mean, in fact, the way Demestrio's deck is built, there's only the 7 creatures, and the Phoenixes are recursive. So,
do you bring in duress if you're Sperling here? Like
yes.
You've identified this as a burn deck and just cards that are.
Yeah, I mean, if he thinks about the cards that were played against him, they're all duressable with the exception of the Phoenix.
Right.
You definitely, I gotta think. I mean, duress is better than Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe you also want
You
Thoughtseize.
might-
I think no, you gotta.
Thoughtseize is
Thoughtseize
pretty
gone.
scary.
Paying 2 life. None of the. Thoughtseize is best when the cards are individually powerful. There's like that one crucial key thing that you need to grab. Like if he understands Demestrio's deck, it's not any one key card. It's just it's a critical mass of burn. So I would think Thoughtseize comes out. I would think Duress comes in. I would think that the
Pharika's Cure.
it's pretty good against a Phoenix. Maybe.
I think you have to bring it in. I mean,
He
he
doesn't
also
want that much removal in his
right.
deck. I mean, he's gonna have to have some.
But he
removal.
also doesn't know how much of Demestrio's deck he saw. If he's not familiar with the deck, he doesn't know that this isn't just an awkward draw by the Boros deck.
He saw
By,
Chain to the Rocks and Anger the Gods. He
Right.
saw Anger the Gods.
Yeah. So it's,
Anger
he
the
knows,
Gods is
he
not
knows,
in the
right?
White Weenie deck.
That's a big tip off that it's not going to be that there's no
Right. I mean, you could play a White Weenie build with, or just a Boros creature deck with Chain to the Rocks, but
Right.
not with Anger the Gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it never got played, but he was in the hand that he.
Right. So
that
he's
he
probably
thought
not
seized.
bringing it in. He might. Yeah. So it's probably just
I mean,
a
Life-Bane
duress.
Zombie isn't irrelevant.
Right.
It's a 3/1 for 3.
Right. And it's unblockable in this matchup.
It's an unblockable creature. It's going to soak up a removal spell. Like it's probably better than It's probably better than Hero's Downfall.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Matt has access to more creature removal than he needs, for sure. He's probably guessing there's Stormbreath Dragons over there. He knows about the Phoenixes. Yeah, I don't know. It's also one of the advantages of playing an unexpected deck. Like, coming at a metagame with kind of a rogue or, Boros Burn, maybe people are vaguely aware that it's out there, but you're going to play a lot of opponents who just won't understand your game plan, won't understand how to sideboard against you, won't understand, what matters in the games.
And also, I mean, you watch the best players play who have put in all these hours of practice. So much of their game is muscle memory.
Yep.
Right. I've done this 100 times this week, practicing for this event. Boom, boom, boom. I make this split this way on these cards. I do this. I take that when I thought sees you. I burn that. And then suddenly, you're like, wait.
How do I match up against the burn deck?
I mean, and to his credit, Sperling,
he played that game really well. Right. He saved his pack rat. He had the surprise Mutavault activations that I don't think Demestrio saw to save the pack rats to then eat up more burn spells. He was able to Underworld Connections, enough, but he wasn't going all in on that plan. He figured he needed the Gray Merchant. He was right. The Gray Merchant bought him the life he needed. Yeah, Sperling played that game well for sure. But yeah, I still don't know who's favored in this matchup.
It looks like both players have gone down to 6 cards. I still see Hero's Downfall there. So
sure. I mean, it kills Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah.
So. There could be Planeswalkers in Demestrio's deck. Oh, he's got, and he has Chandra's.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hero's Downfall seems like the best removal spell.
It looks like he did bring in the Toiling Troubles.
Nice. So he just made himself a burn deck, basically. Like he's gone even more. He still has Chain to the Rock. That doesn't burn anything. Here's Nightveil Spectre.
That is almost certainly going to have its liver eaten out by a giant bird.
Indeed.
Demestrio, a handful of cards.
He's got a Phoenix. Like he could Chain and Phoenix here.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems like the right line, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, he has to chain, right? Like he can't.
What are the mana costs on Toilet Trouble?
I believe
2 and
it's
3?
3 and 4.
Oh, 3 and 4? 3 and 3.
So there's a second copy of Nightveil Spectre.
And Immutable.
Yeah.
That one also.
And he's
seems
going to have a
up.
crowded rock, I think. I think that rock is going to get pretty crowded.
There's only one rock over there.
You certainly you don't want to burn it, do you? Like, he has a lightning strike, but I feel like
No, you chain.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's got to be living a little bit of fear of Desecration Demon coming next.
Oh, there we see Assemble the Legion in his hand also.
1, 2, 3.
Maybe he's going to draw 2 cards.
Yep. And lightning strike.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the only. Well, he could have chained it, but he's living in fear of Desecration Demon, so clearly had to go some way somehow.
And Demestrio is about to assemble a Legion, I think. He's a turn away.
Nightfell Spectre number 3 for Sperling.
So
Interesting. He doesn't want to get hit by Nightfall Spectre,
Right.
but
here comes Assemble
yeah,
a
so
Legion.
he's got the 6 mana he needs to do both.
Put that on a rock.
14? Yeah, I need it.
Game seems to be going a little better for Demestrio. No Underworld connection, no surprisingly large pack rats.
And then just an army of soldiers coming over the
It
next
helps
few
when you have
turns.
more than 3 lands.
Yeah.
Demestrio with the die on top of his deck so that he doesn't forget about Assemble the Legions. Sperling's got a Duress in his hand. He just has not had the time to fire off. Nightfell Spectre's greedy that way. He wants all your black mana.
He's like,
Just a land.
just this temple.
Yeah, that's not the way Duress was supposed to work out. Your opponent plays all of their threats before you get the chance to fire it off.
Sperling takes his shot in with the Mutavault while he can.
Sure.
Gets Demestrio down to 14.
Wow, that Duress worked out really badly. There were a million Duress targets, and he didn't get to fire it off until he was out.
So the off-color scry land here.
Yeah, he's got 9 that we figured out. 4 Silence, 4 Triumph, 1 Temple of Abandon. So Hero's Downfall on the Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Gonna have to kill it with something the way this game's playing out.
And so both players are down.
And I guess he has seen that Joe doesn't have a burn spell to recurse it with.
And both players are down to the top of their decks here.
One of them has Assembled the
But one of them,
Legions.
yeah.
I don't
a
think you're in
card
top
that's-
deck mode when you have Assembled the Legions.
Oh, but Boros Charm.
Oh yeah.
You.
4 to the face, recurse my Phoenix, replay it.
Does that in his second main phase. He attacked with it first, went before it got
He
Hero's
lost it in
Downfall.
combat.
Yeah. Here comes a Gray Merchant. For 2.
Yeah.
He that's highway robbery.
2 more. Yeah, Assemble the Legions is so good. Mono Black turns out not to be very good against enchantments.
No. We were also talking about it. It's not very good against Pithing Needle. You know, things that it doesn't interact with well. Now, it now gets Hero's Downfall to be able to interact with Planeswalkers.
Right.
Something it traditionally couldn't deal with very well.
3 counters on the Assemble the Legions. Demestrio's up to 6 tokens. It's probably time to just start attacking with him, right? I guess he can attack with 3 of them. Maybe not quite yet. Next turn.
Yeah. He's like, I'll get you next turn. Yeah.
Not going to be a next turn. Sperling scoops him up, so we're on to game 3. Yeah, we basically, game 1, we got to see Sperling implement his game plan. Game 2, we got to see Demestrio implement his.
Now the players have had a chance to see each other's sideboard strategies.
Sure. Sperling goes. He's not going to find an Assembled Allegiance answer. He's maybe starting to get a sense of how few creatures there truly are on Demestrio's side.
And so now maybe he's thinking, I actually, this is more of a control deck. I need the Thoughtseize. If he sided those out.
Maybe.
The 2 life from Thoughtseize, sure. But I mean, if you're getting a War Leader's Helix, if you're getting an Assembled Legion.
You want to get Assembled Allegiance, sure. I'm not sure any of the other cards are individually worth it. Maybe you're right. It definitely played out control-y.
So,
right, I mean, Demestrio, that didn't play like a burn deck. They played like a control deck.
Got an update from the back table.
Are they done?
They are done.
Ugh.
And Sam Black
Really?
continues to defeat all non-corporations.
Wow. That's impressive. He was in 6th coming in. I mean, tied for 2nd through 9th.
And, I mean, he's got to be the hottest player on the Pro Tour right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he got the... He's running so hot, he got the write-in campaign for Player of the Month, right?
He did.
He got Player of the Month in October without you even nominating him.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, he had a lot of Hall of Famers advocating for him.
Myself included. Yeah, you rattling off multiple top 8s in giant events is very impressive to me. I think it's more impressive than winning one.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about him again this month for the Player of the Month. He's just every week he's just doing something, kind of like boggling. You're like, how he can't do it again, can he?
I remember having this conversation during the buys. Like round 3, the word was going out that Sam was not going to make it in time for round 4, and some of his friends wanted to make sure the judges knew what was going on and weren't going to drop him from the tournament when he didn't show round 4 or anything. And people were kind of rolling their eyes like he's probably just going to win anyway. He's going to top 8. He's going to.
He's certainly in a great spot right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's going to be tied for 2nd.
Three rounds to go in the Swiss for him.
Right, he's on X and 1, so he needs to go. I mean, he needs to win one of them. Is it going to be X2-1? Can he go win, loss, draw?
He may be able. Yeah, I think he can.
I haven't done the math to know if all the X2-1s.
It's a slightly smaller GP than, some past numbers. So. All right. Well.
Yeah, 3rd in Theros, 6th in Louisville, 4th in DC. Crazy. Such a good run.
And 1st in our hearts.
Rising up to the top 25 rankings with a bullet, too. Already gotten himself into the lead in the Player of the Year race. Tied with Tizani, but we'll see if you could. Seems like a very strong favorite to get some points out of this event.
Yeah. All right, we're underway here. Matt Sperling kicks things off, scrying a river.
Is there a 5 GP cap for Player of the Year race, or do all your Grand Prix count for Player of the Year? So only 5 GPs count for Player of the Year. It's the same as Platinum status? Makes sense.
And a non-shocking Shockland for Demestrio.
Multiple split cards in his hand.
And the skull cracks.
Yeah. All right, there's Nightveil Spectre. It feels like if Sperling could ever stick one of those, they seem really good.
4 to your face.
What are you going to do?
Boros, charm your face. So he's got a couple of options here. He's got Mizia Mortis. He's got Chain to the Rocks. He only has 2 lands, though.
Yeah, Mizia Mortars. This is what happened to him in Game 1. How many lands does he play? We've seen 9 Scry lands and 14 others, so 23. Seems a little light for a deck that wants to cast a 5-mana enchantment, but the Scry lands help, right? You can dig for lands.
And this looks like Underworld Connections for Matt Sperling.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he's got to do his thing. He's got to just trust that the Grey Merchants will come. Has he got the 1 whip in his hand as well? That'll gain some life. Whip of Erebos seems awesome in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you have to keep your creatures alive long enough to attack, but...
Sperling's on 15.
Even just, like, whipping them out of the graveyard for 1 blast of life and a hit seems good.
Or even just getting your whip on board to give you 2 more
Devotion.
mana symbols for your Gray Merchant.
Demestrio stuck on 2 lands, though. That's too bad for him.
Yeah, there's a Night Veil Spectre.
Cannot feel good. I mean, if Sperling didn't have the Underworld connections, then it seems like Demestrio could just, remove a Spectre, survive long enough to draw lands. But against Underworld connections, his opponent's drawing 2 cards to his 1.
So he Lightning Strikes the Spectre, even though he could have untapped and played a Mizium Orders. He could have thrown the burn at
Right, I think he was hoping that he would draw a land there and he could get a Phoenix into play. He was just hoping to use his mana more efficiently.
Right, he could, because he drew a Boros Charm, and he has the Skull Cracks, and...
No, I mean, I see your point.
Yeah.
Here's Duress.
What
So
what
good.
what do you got in store for me, Demestrio? What's your plan?
Yeah.
Sees a hand of Boros Charm, sees a Phoenix, sees a Mizium Mortars, sees a 2 Skull Cracks, Toil and Trouble, and Chain to Rocks. Chain to Rocks.
Choose randomly. It's probably fine, right? I guess the Skull Crack? No, one of this, maybe a Boros
Maybe
Charm?
the Boros Charm.
Probably the
Boros
Boros Charm.
Charm's
Toil and
4.
Trouble?
Yeah.
Time to read it. It's a reader.
We got a reader.
If there's only 1 Skull Crack, I would take it. But 2 means the first Gray Merchant's going to get turned off. And I don't think he has the first Gray Merchant in his hand yet. I mean, Sperling just needs to defend his life total.
Yeah, I would take the Boros Charm.
I think I agree with you.
He does have a Gray... Or is that 2... I think he does have a Gray Merchant in hand. Or it's a Devour Flesh. Sorry. It's a tough decision for him. He's agonizing here.
Yep, goes with Boros Charm.
And there is
here's
the
whip.
whip. Yeah.
Chose not to draw a card with Underworld connections.
Yeah. Do you just fire off a Skull Crack here?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta just
how's
you gotta
Demestrio
take
gonna win
advantage
this
of you gotta use your mana every turn here now, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna sneak this out.
And Demestrio comes to exactly the same conclusion.
Yeah. And there's
the
a land.
land. So he could play a Phoenix, I would think.
Yeah, he's play a Phoenix. He gets Matt down to 9.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt is looking for a Gray Merchant. He does have one. And that's 6.
That should do it.
6 plus.
Right.
Attacking.
with a life
whip.
linker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Demestrio has to just hope that Sperling's going to miss on Gray Merchants. He can't afford to leave Skull Crack up all the time.
Right, he's got to chain it. Can't kill it because of the whip.
Yeah. No life linker for you.
So Sperling goes to 13.
Seems like it's safe to draw a card here.
Matt is not as sure.
He's debating.
Matt's like, not so fast, Bueller. I don't know. He does. Okay. I mean, I saw Matt using Erebos with impunity yesterday. Like,
Right.
There is a Thoughtseize.
Huh.
And
He's whip Night Veil Spectre here? Does he got something? Does he have a better play than that?
how about a
Oh, yes,
Desecration?
that'll do. Desecration
Yeah.
Demon seems good. Especially having since the chain got pointed at Gray Merchant.
A little discussion about Desecration Demon triggers there. Demestrio's just trying to figure out that math equation. It's like, how do I take these cards and my mana and equal his life total?
Sure.
I think the answer is you can't.
I don't see it. I'm interested to see more of this Boros burn deck.
Yeah, Demestrio's still going to be in great shape. He's you know, going to, if he
10 and
loses
2,
here,
right.
he'll be 10 and 2. I mean,
Yeah, Sperling is in just as good a shape as Sam Black. Will be sitting in the top 4 or 5 players.
That's my trigger. Doing an instep. Destroy a mono color creature.
ultimate price at the end of the turn to kill Chandra's Phoenix. I imagine we'll see a skull crack here.
To stop the life gain from whip.
Just
when
stop the life
demon
gain,
attacks.
Yep.
Sure, it's a good play.
You go to 8.
Demestrio falls to 8. Sperling's at 9. Trigger, he gets back his Chandra's Phoenix.
Sperling has Devour Flesh in his hand, right?
Yes.
So if he gets desperate enough, he can Devour Flesh himself to gain life. Wow, he's going to pay 2 for Thoughtseize. Interesting. What is the scariest? Toil Trouble seems like it deals the most potential damage. Sperling's got a kind of full grip. Chandra seems like the best card, given that there's only 3 lands, with some of the Legion's not relevant for a while.
I mean, Chandra's Phoenix might
Just take the Phoenix?
just, maybe you take, no, you don't want to do that. It's just, you could take the Phoenix and just maybe kill him between next turn with Whip and Desecration Demon.
Interesting. Yeah, he doesn't have any way to kill the demon. You can whip back. What did he take?
He took the Mizium orders. There's a Scry land for Demestrio.
I have 3 cards.
Likes to push it. Got to play the Phoenix here.
Makes sense. It gets killed. Yeah, there's the
That's
hand.
game. Okay.
All right, Matt Sperling. Sitting very pretty at 11-1.